الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد.
والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين المنتخبين، الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد.
صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ومولاي، يا ابن رسول الله، صلى الله عليك يا غريب الزهراء، يا عطشان الزهراء، يا رحمة الله الواسعة، يا باب نجاة الأمة، يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي ومولاي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا فهم لا يفتنون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآله.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
The discussion yesterday started with the four elements of the trials, which we said in any trial and test there is a mumtahin, the one who presents the test, there is the one who takes the test, there is the material of the test, and then there is the purpose of the test. Pretty much all of these, when we talk about them, we talk about the other three generally as well. So yesterday we talked about mumtahin, and the discussion sort of went into why are we being tested, why these baliyat and masa'ib come into our lives, why do we have to go through different kinds of pains, what is the nature of the pain, is the pain little, is the pain extreme, what is the philosophy behind that. All this was generally on a very basic level, and that's all we have in these brief majalis. We discussed that. The questions floating around out there, whenever anybody finds himself in a predicament, victim of a calamity, he asks himself, why me? Why does God have to do this to me? Why do I have to go through this? And this sort of thinking, because it goes unchecked, nobody knows what you are thinking. Your baby wakes you up in the middle of the night. You have to go to office in the morning. You went to bed like an hour ago, and that 5 months old or 6 months old baby is screaming and crying again. We just fed that baby and put it to bed and it's crying again. Everything is done. The pamper is changed. Everything is done. The baby is still crying and screaming, and you hold that baby in your hand and you stand there rocking the baby, and all you can think at that time is, what did I do ever do wrong? Why do I deserve this? It's your own baby, but the thoughts comes to mind. Why do I have to go through? I have to wake up early in the morning. Maybe if this musibah were to skip, I were to skip this musibah. All these things go unchecked. Nobody knows what you are thinking. The car breaks down immediately. Why? You kick things, you punch things, all this aggression comes out. And it goes as far as people saying, there is a God. Why doesn't he fix all this misery out there in the world? So much happening, destruction all over the world. If there is a God, why doesn't he do that? So the way of thinking, it starts from a little small why, and it goes step by step, little by little, to that point where you find yourself thinking that maybe there is no God. So tonight, inshallah, we'll just talk about what gives God the right to treat us this way. What gives God the right to treat us this way? In Surah Al-Fatiha, we say, Maliki Yawmiddin. He is the Malik of the day of judgment, the day of resurrection. He is the Malik of that day. The question comes to mind, is he not the Malik in this world? He is the Malik in the hereafter. Is he not the Malik in this world? Malik means owner, who owns everything. Is he not the Malik in this world? What do we think when we come across the concept of milkiyya, ownership? You guys own things. You have a car. You have a house. You have a mobile. Different stuff you have at home or outside home that you own. You own your business. Many things that you own. This ownership is known as milkiyya. What does it mean? That nothing happens to that thing without your permission. You have wilaya over that thing. Complete control. The car, it's your car. It does not move an inch forward without your permission, or an inch backward without your permission. If that happens, you raise a question. Why did that happen? You have a body, your body. When I point at this eye, whose eye is this? It's my eye. The hand, it's my hand. The chest, it's my chest. The limbs, my limbs. Hatta everything inside the body, the heart, my heart. The veins, my veins. You claim an ownership in these things. So much so that if somebody comes close to you and without your permission touches you, hey, that's my personal space, you need to get away from me. And just step back a bit. You claim ownership. You are sleeping at night. All the lights are out. There is darkness. And within that darkness you have a blanket that you make it more dark by putting the blanket on yourself. You can't see anything. ظُلُمَاتٌ بَعْضُهَا فَوْقَ بَعْضٍ. Darkness upon darkness. You're sitting there. And at night, what happens is a small little ant creeps up in the bed. Don't be scared. it enters the realm of your body. Your feet, it enters your feet. All the alarms go off. There are sirens everywhere going in your head. There is someone in this kingdom who has entered without proper visa. Huh? Without proper visa. This is my body, without my permission. Who goes there? What is this sense? This sense is the sense of ownership, milkiyah, claim. Sometimes this claim is so much that the ant, you pick it up, before throwing it away, you squash it and then throw it away. You take the anger. How dare you? Your ownership. The car. Nobody can enter my car without my permission. My mobile. This is my mobile. Nobody can touch this mobile. So much so that I know that mobile right over there, this one here, it's not mine, and I know it's not mine. Somebody else owns this mobile. I will not touch it. As distracting as that is, I will not touch it. So this ownership, sense of ownership, this is our concept. We own this thing. How much, to what extent does this ownership go? I hope I'm not boring you. To what extent does this ownership go? You can tell your car to move forward, it will move forward. You can tell your car to move backwards, it will move backwards. Can you order your car to move sideways? I'm not talking about turning. I'm talking about like this. Can it go sideways? It can go forward, it can go backwards. Can it go sideways? You can answer me if you want. No. Yeah, that's it. You guys are still awake. That's a good thing. Read aloud salawat. The brothers, come forward so I can be more intimate with you. It's right here, right in front of me. Ahsan, so read aloud salawat. Will not disturb the brothers over there. They are old people, they need to rest their back over there. So that's alright. So you are young people who need to sit here. Aloud salawat. To what extent does the ownership go? You cannot order your car to move sideways. You cannot order your engine to run if there is no fuel. Do you have the power over your car so much so that you are out of fuel, all you have is, in the glove compartment there is a juice box. Or a can of Pepsi. Can you talk to your engine and let the engine know, listen, I'm out of fuel? How about you try this one for a change? I'll put this juice and you run on this one, and we'll get to the gas station and we'll fill you up. Will the car run? No, it won't. Can the car, instead of rolling on the tires, at your order start hopping? Can it do that? Yes or no? No. Can the car flip? Apart from the movies. It cannot. Upon your order, it cannot. You own your body. You own your eyes, you own your nose, everything in your body. I own this hand. I tell this hand, okay, move the fingers forward and touch the palm. Yes, I can do that. Now I order my fingers. I hereby instruct you, move backwards and touch the back of my hand. Nothing is happening. Is it happening? No. I own this hand. Such a disobedient hand. I own it and it doesn't listen to me. I'm telling it to go backwards, it doesn't go backwards. Does it go backwards? No. You park your car the wrong way, call your car and tell your car to move to a better location. Will it do it? You don't have that much power over your car. You don't have that much influence over the things that you own. You cannot order your mobile to change into the better version, the newest model. It won't. Would it? No, it won't. Let's put the same questions in a different perspective. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders your car to move sideways, will it move sideways or not? If you say yes, it is as you are saying La ilaha illallah. Can it move sideways or not if it is ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Well, yes, it can. Can it hop if such is the order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not? Yes, it can. Can it run on juice if it is so ordained? Yes, it can. And this hand of mine, these fingers, can they bend backwards and touch the back of my hand or not if it is so ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yes, it will be painful, but it will happen. وَقَالُوا لِجُلُودِهِمْ on the day of judgment, وَقَالُوا لِجُلُودِهِمْ, and people will say to their bodies, لِمَ شَهِدْتُمْ عَلَيْنَا, why do you testify against us? The hands will speak. يَوْمَ تُكَلِّمُنَا أَيْدِيهِمْ وَتَشْهَدُ أَرْجُلُهُمْ. Their hands will speak to us. لِمَ شَهِدْتُمْ عَلَيْنَا, why do you testify against us? And the body will speak. أَنْتَقَنَ اللَّهُ الَّذِي أَنْتَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. The one who gave voice to everything else gave us the power to speak. So you seem to think that your life is your life. You own your life. You have a claim of ownership on your own life. Is your ownership, does your ownership have the bigger realm and more influence, or the ownership of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over your body? Do you tell your heart to beat? No. Allah does. Everything happening inside your body, you are not controlling it. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is controlling it. It's known as Hidayah Taqwiniyah. This is controlled by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He knows better what is good for you and what is bad for you. So He is the one who truly owns you, and He is the one who truly gets to have the title of ownership over everything. With us, it's a child's play. It's just a make-believe. The true ownership lies with whom? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So with our lives, He gives us the free will to go through our lives, but He gives us the set of rules that we have to follow. And then He helps us. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And then He helps us. If a child, there is a wire going from that point to this camera over here. Now you can see that the top is rubber and inside there is a wire going through. Say there was no rubber on it and there was just a wire. Would you touch it? Would you touch that wire? No, because you will get electrocuted. All right? If there is a child, a 2-year-old, who is walking in this area and about to hit the wire, touch the wire, what will you do if you are close by? You will push the child away. If it takes this much, so much so that you have to throw the child away, you will do so. Child walks into the middle of the road, there is a bus coming, and the only way to save the child is to kick the child away and throw the child away, knowing that if you push the child away, the child will break his bone, one of the bones. Knowingly you will push the child away. Why? Because that will save his life. The child will never speak to you again, but he will be alive. He doesn't know that you did him a favor. He will never thank you. Every time he will see you, he will cry. The little children, they hate nurses. Why? Because every time they go there, they get a needle. The vaccination. They hate the nurses. But they don't know that this is good for them. They never thank the nurses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala treats our spiritual diseases with these kind of vaccinations. It hurts us, we go through pain, we go through tremendous amount of excruciating pain. All we can think about is pain. All we can think about, why would you do that? But instead, we should be thinking about how should we thank Kujar. This point that you hate the idea, and then what you are supposed to do is to show gratitude. He has the power to do whatever he wants. He chooses to help you. He chooses to help you, to save you. Your car got punctured. The tire is punctured, flat tire. You're screaming and swearing and kicking whatever it is. You pull out the spare tire, and then you pick up that jack and the thing. And you haven't used it for ages, and it has rust on it, and it's not moving properly, and everything is going wrong, and it's taking so much time. And you put the jack under the car, and you try to lift the car, and it's not working. It takes so much time, 1 hour, 2 hours, they pass by. And you say, why? This is just a bad day. This is the worst day of my life. Finally you get the tires, everything is done, now the car is back on the road, you go forward, and there is a bridge that something happened, and the bridge fell down into the river. And there are many cars floating around. Then you get the, oh my God. If I hadn't been in that accident, or the predicament that I was in, I would have been down there. Immediately you now realize that this is the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Say subhanallah. This is what we can see. 99% is what we cannot see, and it was kept that way. Why? Because faith works that way. Faith works that way. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows you Jannah, this is Jannah, you will go here. Wallah, you will stop doing, we all will stop committing sins and start doing good things. He shows you hell, you will stop committing sins, start doing good things. But there is no kamal in that. The real perfection is when you follow his command without knowing what the consequences are. So when he tests us, when we go through pain, go through problems in our lives, know that this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So respect what you are in. And do istighfar for the part you played Do istighfar for that. And do shukr for how Allah has now chosen to help you out with that musibah, against that sin that we committed. He is now trying to help us out with that problem. Inshallah, the topic we discussed last night was, this is kafarat al-dhunub. It helps erase our sins. That is a very general and basic reason and purpose. This purpose or this reason is a prerequisite for one major reason, which we will talk about inshallah in the coming nights, inshallah. Prerequisite for one major reason. And the major reason is perfection of humanity, perfection of a human being, spiritually elevating his level of spirituality through calamities. Inshallah, this we'll pick this up again. Inshallah. Tomorrow, this is the night, the 7th night. Let's go to Karbala and see how Imam al-Hussein shows sabr. When the musibah, it's not just one musibah. In Karbala, musibah, masa'ib came down like the flood flows down from the mountain, one after another. There was thirst, there was hunger, there was heat, there was hatred from everywhere. Hatred from everywhere. And then he had his family with him, little kids with him, his ashab with him, whom he loved more than anything. His sons, his brothers, his cousins with him. This is your Imam who is the mountain of sabr. The mountain of sabr. They say that at one point on the day of Ashur, we'll start from the night of Ashur. In the night of Ashur, when Imam al-Hussein is talking to his ashab and showing everybody his place in Jannah, that you will be killed tomorrow, and this is your place in Jannah. You will be killed tomorrow. You will be killed tomorrow. You will be killed tomorrow. He said that behind the crowd there is a small child, a boy, no more than 12 years old, who is trying to raise himself higher by standing on his knees, waiting for Imam to call out his name as well. But when it takes too long, he himself cannot wait any longer and just says, Ya Amma, ana fi man yuqtal. Oh uncle, will I be one of those who will be killed tomorrow? And this boy, his name is Qasim, son of Imam al-Hasan alayhi salatu wasalam. Qasim, who became a yatim when he was 2 years old. Hardly 2 or 3 years old, and he became an orphan. And he was raised by Imam al-Hussein. To Imam al-Hussein, he was like his own son. He loved him like he loved Ali al-Akbar. He loved him like he loved Ali al-Asghar. He loved him like he loved Imam al-Sajjad. Imam looks at him and he says, كيف الموت عندك يا ولدي? How do you find maut? What do you think about death? And the reply comes, and this reply can only come from a son of a ma'asum. He says, أحلى من العسل. In my opinion, the death is sweeter than honey. Imam says, yes, you will be one of those who will be killed tomorrow. and the sands of Karbala. And then comes the day of Ashura. Ashab are gone. Ali al-Akbar is gone. All the awlad of Jafar ibn Abi Talib, Aqil ibn Abi Talib, they are gone. And now comes out from the Khayyam this 12-year-old boy and looks at Imam, Ya Ammah, oh uncle, halli min rukhsa. Can I go out to battle in your name? There is no one left to help you out. Imam al-Hussein, he looks at him and the tears fall down. Ali al-Akbar, he did not stop. Anyone else, the Imam did not stop. But when he looks at Qasim, he tries to stop him, don't go. And Qasim tries very hard. Imam says, Atamshi birijlika ila al-maut. Will you walk on your feet towards death? Qasim says, I see today your enemies are increasing and those who help you are decreasing one after another. Oh uncle, ya Amma, please give me permission to go out and fight in your name. Imam al-Hussein looks at the child, he starts crying, he calls him towards himself. He takes him into his embrace. Qasim starts crying. Imam starts crying. And they say that they were crying so hysterically. At one point they lost consciousness. Imam, I often think what Imam would have been thinking at that time. His face, his son's face, Qasim's face resembled so much with the face of Imam al-Hassan. It was so hard to let him go. Finally, he tells Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas to bring out the shield, the vest, and the head cover. Imam tries to put the head cover on. The head cover is so big that it doesn't fit Qasim. He puts the shield on the shield. He puts the vest on. The vest doesn't fit Qasim. At that point, Imam takes out the piece of cloth and makes an amama on the head of Qasim. He puts one end of the amama on one side and the other on the other side, just like we do when we give kafan to a mayyit. And then he does something very strange. There is a shirt that Qasim is wearing. Imam looks at the shirt and he tears open the collar and then he tears the shirt apart. Ulama say, we kept researching what is the reason for tearing up the shirt. And they find out that whenever in Arab, whenever in the streets people would find a child with his shirt torn apart from the front, that would have been a sign that this child does not have a father anymore. And this is a yatim. Every person passing by would love that child, show affection to that child, put his hand on the head of the child, treat that child in a nice way. And this is the last appeal of Imam al-Hussein al-Karbala. These ashqiya, they are showing animosity towards me. If I send Qasim towards them in this way, maybe they will see that this is the yatim of Imam al-Hassan. on the back of the horse himself. And they say that Qasim starts to ride. The one who was brought up by Ali al-Akbar and Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, the great warriors, he fought very greatly, very bravely. And the riwayat, the narrations say that at least 35 were killed by the hand of Qasim ibn al-Hasan. At one point there is a person, Hamid ibn Muslim, this is a mu'arrikh who was in the army of Yazid. He says there was a person standing right next to me. His name was also Umar ibn Sa'ad. He was Asdi. This person says, Umar ibn Sa'ad says that if this child passes by me, I will most certainly kill him. Hamid ibn Muslim says, why do you have to do this? Let someone else, there are many others who are trying to do it. Why do you dirty your hands with this? He said, no, I will kill him. At one point, Qasim ibn al-Hasan, he notices that the left shoe, the lace was broken, and he bent down to fix the lace. It is at that time that this la'een moves forward. He attacks Qasim ibn al-Hasan from behind. He strikes with his sword on the head of Qasim. The blow was so hard that Qasim couldn't keep his balance on the back of the horse. He fell down, saying, "Alayka min salam ya Amma." Imam al-Hasan hears this voice. He gets on the horse like a falcon. He rushes towards Qasim ibn al-Hasan. He finds the killer of Qasim ibn al-Hasan standing nearby. He attacks the killer, chops off his arm. It is at that point the army of Yazid comes to help that person, and the horses, while coming towards that person, they run over the body of Qasim. When the dust settles down, Imam al-Husayn finds himself standing next to the body of a trembling body of Qasim, taking his last breath. All he can do is cry in a broken, heart-wrenching voice. He says, "Azza wallah, Azza wallah ala ammi, and tad'uhu fala yujibu, aw yujibuka fala yanfa'uka sawtu." It is very hard for your uncle, O Qasim. It is very hard. It is very hard to see that you call your uncle and he does not reply you in time. And if he does reply you, his voice does not do you any good anymore. اليوم كثر واقرا. Today your uncle's enemies are so many. وقل ناصرا. There are so less helpers to help your uncle Hussein. He picks up the body of Qasim, puts the chest of Qasim to his own chest, and starts taking the body back to the Khayyam. Hamid ibn Muslim says, "I now taste the chest of the boy was with the chest of Imam al-Hussein, and his feet were dragging on the sands of Karbala. The tears were coming down on the cheeks of Imam, bringing the body back to the Khayyam." He takes the body back to the Khayyam, and there waits the mother of Qasim. He looks at the body. بِلَيْ ذَنْبٍ قَتَلُوكَ يَا بُنَيَّ. What did you ever do to these ashqiya that they treated you and killed you in this manner. من أين من قتلك يا شيبة يا عباد الشيبة. Then why did they kill you, my dear son? You were the only support that I was hoping to have in my old age. Everybody is crying, and Imam is crying. He then picks up the body and places the body next to the body of Ali al-Akbar. And then he sits in between the two bodies. He puts one hand on the chest of Ali al-Akbar. He puts another hand on the chest of Qasim. He looks up at the sky in a broken voice. He screams, Allah Qurbata. 3 times, Allah Qurbata. Not